Yo, yo, yo. Wow, I just came off a Facebook Live with Ray Burke and Bobby Walker, and that is amazing. I just posted it to my wall. If you haven't seen it, or you go to Spray Wash Pro Facebook page and you get on there and you listen to that. That is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Totally inspiring. Good on you, fellas. So my little thing is just this. Like, it's a really, really difficult time. We've got our challenges too. I'm actually heading back to China on Tuesday. I'm in Thailand now for the last 7 weeks, but actually Thailand is starting to lock down. All the bars are closed, entertainment's closed, shops are selling out of stuff and things like that here. And I have to do what's called a visa run. So you have to go to another country and come back in every 60 days. And there's no countries that'll do a visa run. So I've actually got no choice. But at the moment, I mean, China's got 0 new native infections of coronavirus. It's totally under control. Their threat right now is people like me coming in, so we go into 14-day quarantine and all that sort of stuff. So we've got I might even track that journey into China. I think that'll be a really good thing to follow. I'm doing good, Jeremy, thank you. But here's my little message for today, because I have to do it for Reach It. We've got, I don't know, 50,000 plus a month US salary bill, and in China it's illegal to terminate anybody, and if you terminate them you have to pay them double what you would have had to terminate them, what you would have done if you're allowed to terminate them, and you have to have a reason to terminate, and coronavirus and downturn in business is not a reason. So here's the thing, you got to pivot, and you got to pivot to survive, and then you've got to pivot to thrive, right? Because what I've said to Harrison, that if I go back through my whole life, I'm 57, 58 this year, some of the worst things that have ever happened to you, you look backwards with hindsight, and they actually became the best thing that could ever happen to you. And I got inspired by that, with the Colonel Sanders story, with the Warner Brothers, Hanna and Barbera. Right, there's some stories, some fantastic ancient stories which just talk about this, and just if you believe it, you're on it. If you don't believe it, you're not going to get anything, right? So who's here? Chloe is here, right? So we're in pivot mode. We're looking at what resources we've got. We've got a team of 35 people. We've got an amazing media department. We just built an amazing app, and we're getting the infrastructure together to build it out even better. That's the Window Cleaner Industry app, which you can find at windowcleanerindustry.com. Go and have a look. All you've got to do is type hashtag this is awesome, and we give you another 30 days for free. Jamie Schmidt's here. Good to see you, buddy. And so we're gonna divert some of our marketing department into building apps for people. We'd love to talk to anybody who wants an app. Obviously we could end up flooding ourselves, but we need to pull in, I don't know, 10 or 20 grand a month out of doing something else with our marketing department, and then just for this period of time, but it may start a whole new business for us. That's what we're thinking, So we've got, a URL for it and stuff like that. So we're going to do that. And then, we've got the Window Cleaner Industry app. So you go to windowcleanerindustry.com, and then we're going to actually grab some of our stock. We're going to put it up in auction sometime later this week. Hey, Ray, I just promoted you, buddy. That was amazing, 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 amazing. Facebook Live, oh my God. So go to Ray Burke's, just go to his wall, go to Spray Wash Pro, go to wherever, but make sure you watch it. It's really, really, really a great watch. And for anybody who's down in the dumps, g'day Ron Musgraves, you are a good guy, you're doing good. Pat's in here. And we want to de-troll the industry right now. Right? So there are some guys who are going to go down because they don't have the infrastructure for their businesses, their new businesses or whatever, then that's going to be horrible. But more importantly, what we want to do is get this time to take out the trolls, just get them out. If somebody wants to play negative at a time that we need to be positive, let's just unite together and say, out, dude. No audience, no oxygen, no air, right? You are not helping anybody, and you never were. Your negativity is much more powerful than our positivity, right? You got 10 times, what's that old saying? If you like something, if somebody likes something, they'll tell one person, maybe. And if somebody doesn't like something, they'll tell 10 people. That's the power of negativity. It's nasty, right? So we want to get those guys out, and we want to get them out with our positivity, right? Don't get them out with negativity. Don't take them on. Don't go thinking you can, that's what they want. They want drama. They want the nastiness, right? So I just think we just cull them. All the leaders in the industry, just cull them out of the place, right? And then we want to help each other, do our very best. Thanks, Kai-Chin. We have got the best products, but the truth is, we don't know if we can survive, right? We're scheduled through to the end of May right now, and then we're looking through what we can do, at the end of May if the industry doesn't turn on again. But that doesn't mean we haven't got great product. That doesn't mean we don't have to do some discounts or some things like that. So we're going to auction off some product and let you guys choose what you're prepared to pay for them, and it'll be a great opportunity for you. It gives us some cash flow, And then we've got some other ideas that we're doing. It's all pivot to survive and then pivot to thrive, right? We'll learn something. From everything you do, you're going to learn something. Even zero is a result. A lot of people think zero is not a result. I just say, that's all my training I teach my son Harrison, right? Zero is a result. It's not a nice result, not the result you want, but it is a result that says this doesn't work. But I will say this about marketing, because Ray and Bobby, you've got to go and listen to Ray and Bobby. But on the reactive marketing that's not working right now, not true. Reactive marketing is working. Top of mind is everything. You want to stay top of mind. So when this thing pops and everybody's going to want everything get cleaned again, everybody's going to want to get everything cleaned forever, right? So what you want to do is realize that you're playing top of mind marketing, right? You want your name in front of everybody every 90 days, at least, because you don't know, people might change their mind and say, damn, I really need, clean, sanitize and disinfect. If you want to know those words, go and watch Ray Burke and Bobby Walker. He explains it all, CDC style. So what we want to do is just, go out there and do what you want to do. Get your reactive marketing, keep it going as long as you can. Jump on the phones, get in front of people, really, really do everything you can with whatever minute you've got, because this is your time. This is your time to stay in front of people. And then whatever else you can do, pivot that, look for opportunities, but you've got to, in a sense, I'll tell you the secret to pivot. You have to accept that failure is an option, I think, to pivot well, right? Because then you start saying, well, what have I got and what can I use it for? Because what happens is we've got a bias. What have I got and what am I using it for? That's the bias, which is kind of it'll bring you unstuck when you go to pivot, because when you go to pivot on that stuff, you go, but I'm already using it. Well, what if you can't use it? What if you've got staff that you can't use for pressure washing? What can you use them for? Like, can you give them half pay and get them on the phones? Okay, they're going to talk with a less educated accent, or they're going to talk with a bit of or whatever, but hey, why not get them on the phones? Why not just give them part of the, I'm showing my age if I say the phone book, but give them 5 suburbs and say, look up all these people in these suburbs and get these calls going, right? And say, look, we can give you 20% off if you buy a gift voucher with 50% down, or something like that. Help us up, And the other one which I'm going to share with you is night work. When I was a window cleaner, I had a Ford Transit van with a lift on the back, right? And we used to do a lot of business parks that were in Sydney, and they were in the port zone, right, Port Botany. And so I actually developed this truck with a floodlight, and it could light a 3-story, 4-story building, 300 feet wide. Now that light, I had an 1800 watt generator, and normally you can't turn on a floodlight like that. Charles Daniels here, good to see you, buddy. So I went and bought this floodlight that was a slow turn on. It took 20 minutes to turn it on. So when dusk came, we turned on the generator, had it on the lift, and the floodlight I put on a trolley so I could, push it around with a cable. And then we could light up a building, and we could actually work at night. Now, for people who are worried about cross-infection, do your work, offer your work at night, right? It's completely clean. And you guys have all got chlorine, yeah? So you got chlorine, so you can say, look, after we're finished, we'll spray it with disinfectant, yeah? Even if it's the surfaces outside. But if you have to go inside, and you have to do some inside work, then say, look, when we're finished, there'll be none of your staff there. We will spray, according to the rules with foggers or sprayers, we'll spray the surfaces so that anything which we come into your house with or anything we come into your company with, right, we will make sure that there's none of it left, right? Your workers, the companies that you want to deal with are the companies who can't work from home. The essential services, the businesses that need the people in the factory, in the workplace, in the warehouse, in the storage area, right? Those areas need to be disinfected anyway, right? In China, even to this day, with no infections, right? All of our staff are temperature checked 3 times a day, and we have to report it to the government. Every temperature check of everybody in China is being reported to the government every day. We have to, everybody has to wear masks still, even though there's no infections. And we have to spray the factory. Every building in China is sprayed twice a day, in the morning before work and after work, with sodium hydroxide, right? Chlorine mix. And so that whole thing's still going on, because they, obviously once you can stop coronavirus, you want to keep it stopped, So there's an opportunity there just to say, look, okay, we like to work at day, and we like to go home and watch movies at night and eat with the family and all that stuff, but maybe the opportunity is switch your business to night work. Now, let's talk about pivot to survive and pivot to thrive. What happened with me, because I had this Ford Transit van, I had payments on it, I had bloody money, I had a team, and I thought, damn, I've got this Ford Transit van, I've got all this gear in there, and I'm only doing like 8 to 10 hours work a day with it. Like, why can't I turn it into a 24-hour truck, right? So if you master this and you get night work going, you can put a second crew without putting another truck on. I hear all the guys putting other trucks on all the time. I mean, that's the sign of how big your business is, right? But what if you could turn your business around at the end of this, that each truck can work 2 shifts, right? Because there are guys out there, especially first generation Americans, or in our country was first generation Australians. These guys want to make money. These guys have got a 30 to 1, 60 to 1, 90 to 1 currency difference. $1 might be, I know the Russia's right down at about 90 now. So $1 is 90 rubles, right? If you come to Thailand, $1 is 30 Thai baht, right? They can live frugally and send back money to their homes, and okay, money leaves the country, and I know, nationalism and all these sort of, things that some people might think, but these people will work hard. So what I had these, where were they from? Macedonia or somewhere like this? 2 guys, they were friends. They had a day job, right? And they would come to work for me at night. Yeah. So they'd do a 5-hour shift in the night, every night, and we would clean all these business parks where these trucks would roll in and out. And I'll tell you what, what's exciting, if you do like water-fed window cleaning, which is like, I had the ladderless window cleaning company, so I was always water-fed from day one, because I was just terrified of ladders. So if you've got water-fed window cleaning, the nasty thing about water-fed window cleaning in commercial is cars parked in car parks, and they always put the car park straight out the front of the building, right, to make it easier for people to walk in, or I don't know, it just makes sense logistically, and layouts of landscapes and all that. So when you get to a building, right, and there's no cars in the car park, right, then boom, you're just moving along. The guys are working that much faster. They can do what would be 8 hours work, they can do it in 5 hours, in a 5-hour shift, So that's, to try and give you some, but seriously, you've got to think that you've failed. So what if I fail? And what have I got? And what if I can redeploy what I've got before I fail? Yeah? Then you're pivoting to survive. Now, having pivoted to survive, right? Because sometimes the worst things that could happen to you end up being the best thing that ever happened to you, right? You also got to believe that, hold that true, right? Then you've got to say, now I have this other business division, or I have this other business capability, and then let that other business capability turn into another opportunity. And when this thing blows over, and it will, because if everybody follows the rules and everybody stays home, it takes 14 days maximum for it to go from one human to another, right? So if everybody stays home, it can only go from one human in one house to another human in another house, and then there's another 14-day lockdown for those people, and that's it, it's over. It can't go any further. This thing is a human-to-human transmission, and everybody's just got to do it. They just got to, if you want it to stop. Now, the UK is not doing that, so UK will be an amazing thing to watch, but pretty much the whole world now is settling down on, this is the only way to stop it right now. And I know there's some cures coming out, which will mean people will get sick and get saved. I don't want that. I just don't even want to get sick, right? I just want to stop this thing. And we go back to business as usual, and then everything, and I really, really believe, that the US understands, the value of the economy and how to turn that thing back on again. So it will turn back on, and nearly everybody's going to be okay. Like, all the people who understand, like, we've got to survive, right? We've got to push through. We've got to do everything we can. All right? So that's my little tips for today. And then I am heading back, today's Friday, here
Like, you'll see it's daylight.
Yep. So it's Friday morning, and then Harris and I are heading back sometime Tuesday, and then hopefully, at the moment, Thailand is still in the low risk area, so we get to quarantine at home. If it gets switched, Australia got switched to high risk today, for example, and Qatar and Canada, all these countries. Then we have to go into some, government quarantine area. Yuck. It took 6 weeks. Why did it take 6 weeks? Well, China has, in some parts of China, the schools have gone back already. And then in Shanghai, where Ollie is, he goes back, mid-school and universities go back on April the 6th. So the shutdown started, I left January 27th, and the shutdown had already happened, right? So I think the shutdown of China was January 24th. Schools go back April 6th, and junior school, the little guys, they go back April 20th. So the rule in China, from what I understand, is they want 2 months no transmissions, and then if they can get 2 months no transmissions, then they'll put the little kids back in school. And remembering that, even though, I can tell you the stats in my company, we have 16, we just had a new baby born this week to one of our staff. We have 16 members of our team have got children, 2 have got 1 children, 1 has 3 children, and the rest have 2 children. So but the majority still has got this 1 child for whatever reason, but there's loads and loads of people with 2 children and 3 children. But I mean, the children are the future. So for a lot of families, 1 child is the end of their bloodline. So the protection of the children, as we should, we've had a long, beautiful and wonderful life. We should make sure that whatever we do, we preserve the ability of our children to have a long and beautiful and wonderful life. So basically, if you think everything in lots of 2 weeks, and you think of the transmission, and then after 2 weeks, who else has got the transmission, and then you go another 2 weeks for them to go through whatever they're going to go through. Could be just the symptoms of a cold or whatever. Look, the thing about the Chinese virus, it has an official name, and but I don't care. You want to call it Chinese virus, I don't give a rat's ass what you want to call it. It's still a coronavirus which is killing people, and maybe it'll get called Chinese virus forever and be brought under control, and it'll all go into history, and it'll go down as MERS and SARS and Spanish flu, which started in Mexico, not Spain. If you're watching the news and they're saying, because it was the information about it was disseminated in the Spanish language, that's why it's called the Spanish flu. Yes, but it didn't start. It did start in North America. So, who cares what it's called? Who cares about the slander of other countries? Who cares about anything? All you care about, is mums and dads having their children and being there to watch them get married and have their children and be a grandparent and then die old gracefully, hopefully sometime at, around 78 years old, So, yeah, I don't watch any of those movies. Doug Slobodnik's here, good for you. Yeah, so, and if you get a chance and you have the opportunity to, started in Kansas, there you go, right? But they're not telling that in the news, are they? But I mean, who cares? I don't give a rat's ass about what everybody wants to call it. You want to call it whatever you want. The most important thing is to save lives. Blame never worked for anybody. Look forward, not backwards. Blaming is not going to help get tests done, I could give you so much information. I just followed this from day one. I mean, the first test was developed by the Germans on February the 6th, accepted by the World Health Organization on February the 12th. That's how Korea is testing 20,000 people a day, because they use the German test, and that's how China adopted the German test. But some countries didn't adopt the German test, so they didn't have a test, but it was there. You can't say, oh, look who's here.
Hello.
Oh, you just sanitized your hands?
Yeah.
Great. Harrison. Yeah, I was just talking about, pivot to survive and then pivot to thrive. Yeah, so I'm still talking about it, right? Okay, so go guys, don't get stuck in the blame game. Just get stuck in the solutions. Go and watch, please, with everything you've got, go and watch the Ray Burke, Bobby Walker podcast / Facebook Live. It's on my wall as a share, I think. But if you can't find it, go to Raymond Burke, Raymon, and then or Spraywash Academy or Spraywash Facebook group, and it'll be in there as well. And that is inspiring, right? And then you double that up with these little tips, and wake up in the morning, consider, what if I fail? What have I got? and then pivot before you fail and add that to your business, and then you will have pivoted to thrive. Okay, this is me out. I will report back with more. I've got so much stuff going down. I'll just tell you my little drama. My drama is, it is illegal to terminate anybody. So even if we have a downturn, we have to pay wages in full, right? So, and I don't mind that in a moral sense. So we should support the people who have supported us to get us to where we are. But it does makes our decisions much more difficult, if we consider a downturn in business. So it's my job to turn the business on and make it exciting, and make sure that we're rolling stock through and giving great deals for you guys, and then and see what other ways we can use our resources. So if you get a phone call from me, you'll know I'm on the ball. Okay, cheers.